This interview is a paid advertisement. It was produced on behalf of the company and is considered investor relations activity under Canadian securities law. All statements and opinions are those of the guest and should not be construed as investment advice. Please do your own due diligence or consult a registered investment advisor. Hello and welcome to the Gold Newsletter channel. Hello from the Deutsche Goldmesse. Hello from Frankfurt. My name is Kai Hoffmann. I'm the JR Mining guy over on X, and of course, your co-host of this channel, together with our very good friend Brien Lundin. And I'm being joined by Peter Espig. He's president and CEO over at Nicola Mining. Peter, it's great to welcome you to Frankfurt. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really looking forward to our conversation, getting a proper introduction to Nicola Mining. We haven't really, despite you have been here for a couple of days now, we haven't had a chance to really sit down. So I'm using this interview to ask my questions and really get a good understanding of Nicola Mining as well. But let's start at a 30,000 foot level. Let's understand who are you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, we're unique, right? In that we're a junior mining company, but we're driven by revenues. So we have 5 key assets, and there's 2 key points about the assets that we have. One is that they're all synergistic, and 2 is everything is permitted. So we have a fully permitted mill that sits on top of land that we own, freehold. We have a rock pit, gravel quarry, cement ready mix plant where we have contracts with the Ministry of Highways. We're supplying the cement and ready mix and gravel for Highland Valley's expansion. We have one of the highest grade copper mines in the history of North America, which we're exploring. We're vectoring towards a porphyry, and again, it's fully permitted as a mine. And then we have a high grade silver mine, and we own the Dominion Gold project.
That's a lot of projects. Let's see if we can get to all of them. Maybe we need to rank them in importance, maybe, because I've been hearing a lot about toll milling. Maybe we'll start there. You've been toll milling for Talisker until recently, and a lot of companies are reaching out or trying to work with you as well moving forward. Tell us a bit about the Marriott Mill. What does it look like? What's the capacity, and what's the benefit to you, of course?
Yeah, and so I know people say the word toll milling. I don't like the word toll milling, in the simple reason that we don't like toll milling. You a lot of times the millers acquire the material, or they get cost plus a certain percentage, and I find that if you do a cost plus certain percentage, your interests aren't aligned, because the miller is driven to drive up the costs, and the miner wants the cost down. So we do profit shares. Okay. So, and we continue to mill material from Talisker.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we've started to receive material from Blue Lagoon. They're ramping up their production, and we're also one of the 2 largest shareholders of Blue Lagoon. So, we utilize our capital to help push projects forward, and we also bring next year we'll be bringing material from our Dominion Gold project, which we're super excited about. So, when talking about capacity, so the mill is it's a 200 ton per day mill. We can do about 250 tons. And we're in the process of ramping up to 500 tons. But we spent quite a bit of money, and we have one of the largest gravity concentrators in British Columbia, and everything is automated. So just like you have your computer tablet, that's how we run our system. In that, if there's a chemical imbalance, it comes up on the screen, and they just adjust it right there. So it's a great profit driver for the company, and it mitigates having to raise money.
Fantastic. Yeah. How much are you spending on the expansion?
That's already been done.
Okay. Like 500 ton per day.
Yeah. So the only thing that needs to be done, so our crushing capacity is 650, our flotation capacity is 750. And we've done all the work, including the motors, the pumps, and everything, and the power to go to 500 tons. The only thing that needs to be done is swapping the ball mill, and that's about $900,000. Okay. And we have the cash anyways.
Okay. Perfect. Makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about the gold feed. Let's talk about the Dominion Gold project. Run us a bit through it. What are the highlights of the project? What can we expect from it?
So, in my career, I've been CEO of Nicola Mining since 2013, and I would say the biggest surprise, and when I say good surprise, has been Dominion. And the way Dominion came to us is 3 years ago, the owner of the project, who's really owned it since the 70s, he had an earn-in with another group once, and then he's owned it outright since 89. And so he approached us 3 years ago and said, we have 5 offers earn-in offers on the project. But I really trust you, Peter, because we've known each other for more than almost a decade. And he said, I'd like to do something with Nicola. So what we did is we said, rather than an earn-in, Nicola, so we're quite risk aversive, right? So the main thing on any project we do is we get paid first. And so I said to Al, who's our partner, I said, Al, here's what Nicola will do is we will pay for the permitting, we'll get the permits, we'll pay for the engineering, for the mill, or for the mine development, mining, trucking, milling, will reimburse us for all our costs, and then we will, for the first 10,000 tons, you'll get a 25% carry, and then after that, we own it. Mm-hmm. And so this year we started in July, we started the mine development, and basically, if you conceptualize it, there's a wall. And so what we did is we've got a 30 by 40 meter wide landing area where the heavy machinery goes, and you drop it down 6 meters. So now you're looking at a wall, and the veins are there. And so we discovered 3 new veins, but the main vein went from 2.5-3 meters to 5 meters. The 16 vein is about 2.5-3 meters wide, and then a new vein that is about 1 meter wide. And then as we test it on top, so you test the wall, you test on top, the grades of the pit vein came back average. Grade is over 2 ounces a ton. Okay. So people talk about high grade, anything above 5 grams. This is over 60 grams. Yeah. And then the 16 vein is 37 grams per ton, approximately 37 grams. It's also over 1 ounce. Mm-hmm. And then the newly discovered vein is 9.4 grams. So these are very, very high grades. And the cost of mining is incredibly cheap because all you're doing is you're breaking it off and it's falling down. Yeah. And so we spent 2025 in mine development. Mm-hmm. It's all done, and next year we'll be mining.
Fantastic. Yeah. Bit of a metallurgical question, actually, because you run a mill and you take on different ores. Like, how does that work metallurgically? How do you have to, getting the recoveries and all of that? You need to probably adjust and tweak. And you said you're using an iPad for it, but how easy is it to adjust for the different ores? You said you got the Telescope ore, you got the Dominion ore, and Blue Lagoon ore as well. So how does that look like?
No, it's a great question, and that's why we have metallurgists who get paid lots of money. But we don't mix the materials, so they batch them. So we'll do one, then we'll do another, and up until now, we can out-mill or outpace the material that's coming to us. Yeah. So really, if you think of Dominion, that's going to be our filler material, and then with Talisker, Blue Lagoon. So Talisker, their material is very, very gravity. So we create most of the gold's in free gold, so it's a gravity concentrate. And with Blue Lagoon, it's a flotation concentrate. So there are different characteristics, but the good thing with Blue Lagoon is we've milled their material there's 3 years. So we did the bulk sample for them, 2 bulk samples for them. So we know what the material's like, but you can't use the exact same chemicals for everything yet.
Okay, because sometimes there's downtime and all of those, so I'm just trying to figure out
There's no, the downtime is like a day.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you got 2 other projects as well. One is the copper porphyry project. The other one is more of a polymetallic project, the Treasury Mountain one.
Sure.
How does that fit into the portfolio?
So they are so the mill was built for the silver mine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. So the Ministry of Mining at the time, this was back in 2011, told Halder Silver. So as you know, it's very difficult to get mine permits, and so that's something that we have to there's a lot of value in the fact that everything we own is mine permitted, not exploration permit, it's mine permitted. So, and we actually just got a 10-year mine extension for the silver mine. So the mill, so we've got dual flotation lines. So we've got flotation tanks that were specifically made for the silver mine. And interesting you asked that question because in 2012, Coeur invested $5 million at a $200 million valuation. Mm-hmm. And when I took over the CEO role, I had several discussions with Coeur just trying to understand what the genesis of their investment was. And they said, there's something exciting about the backside. Mm-hmm. And so there hasn't been a drill hole, but at surface, there's about 15 veins. And the grades of silver are anywhere between 350 grams to 9,000. copper up to 4%, gold up to 2.6 grams, lead up to 30%, zinc, and then we've got other rare earths as well. So we don't know what's there because it's never been drilled, but we will drill it next year. But it's very exciting because you can see at surface, you can see all the veins, and they seem to be directing towards the same direction. So we'll drill it next year, and we'll find out if Coeur was correct in their thesis. Yeah.
Let's go back to the capital structure real quick, because I want to talk about use of proceeds, like how you're spending your money next year as well. Run us a bit through it, like what's the cap structure, shares outstanding, cash position, of course, and then anything else we need to worry about.
You don't have to worry.
No, of course not.
No, but
I'm German. You are as well, so we're a little more conservative. Maybe.
We are very conservative, right? I'm Austrian.
Apologies.
Yes, but So the cap structure, we have 208 million shares outstanding, about a $180 to $200 million market cap. The share price has gone down a little bit, and one of the reasons it declined is we announced that we were going to be listing on NASDAQ. Mm-hmm. And I think the market, and this is really important, the market misunderstands that Nicola will be doing a rollback as part of the uplisting, because we won't. We'll be doing, as you know, I spent a lot of my career with a Wall Street firm. I worked at Goldman Sachs and worked in private equity. So I know the street. I know I've taken companies public on NASDAQ. Yeah. And so we will be the first Canadian company to do an ADR or ADS listing. So that mitigates having to do a rollback. As far as cash, we have just over $1 million, but we also have $5 million in securities that we can sell. We also have a $5 million line of credit. But we've been cash flow positive, right? So, and the reason is we've been spending our money. We haven't done capital raises to do all our upgrades and everything. So as cash comes in, we've been utilizing that for the expansion. We've been utilizing it. So we've done that on our own and haven't gone out to raise money. So as this comes, especially next year, you'll start seeing the cash accumulate really quickly because all our investments are done and that cash will just continue to increase.
How much are you going to spend on exploration next year then?
That's the $1 million question that is difficult to answer, and I'll explain. So we've got 2 exploration projects. So we're not going to be exploring at Dominion. We're just going to be mining. Which with the copper assets, so new Craigmont copper, we've vectored towards a pore-free system. So we're in a pore-free system. We're not in the phyllic alteration. We're in the propylitic, so we're on the periphery of that system. And so we'll drill, and depending on how successful it is, we'll just increase the budget. And the same with Treasure Mountain, we have planned 4 drill holes. Okay. Because with 4 drill holes, we're going to know if they're what's below. But if it's really exciting, we'll do more.
Fair enough.
So we'll drill somewhere between $1 to $3 million worth. But I know it's a big range, but we can do that because we're also using cash flow for the exploration.
What was your cash flow this year?
So we've done. Well, I can't say.
End of Q3.
So end of Q3, we've done about $15 to $20 million in revenues. And when people will say, well, what was the net profit? Well, we utilize. Remember that as we've spent $3 million in upgrades, and that's in our OPEX, right? So we put it in OPEX so that if you put the upgrades in OPEX rather than CAPEX, you then have a loss at the bottom. So next year we don't have to pay taxes on our earnings, right? So it's just an accounting. Yeah.
No, awesome. Like do we need to worry about any metallurgical results? Or not worry, sorry, there's the wrong term, but should we expect any metallurgical results coming out of or any? I'm just like news. I'm trying to figure out news flow. What's coming up from Dominion? Is that all done and dusted?
News flow will be receiving the material from Dome Mountain. 2 will be uplisting into the NASDAQ. 3 will be milling Dome material and then selling Dome material, and then going to the Dominion and then doing the exploration on our assets. So there's lots of news coming, and remember that there's going to be other milling sources that are going to be coming to the mill, because we get these sources every year.
Yeah.
So that will continue. So it's not in our presentation because we are in discussions with 2 other groups, but until we've signed, publicized it and started the process, then we can't really talk about it, but they exist.
Awesome. No,
Yeah.
Peter, really appreciate you joining us here in Frankfurt. Really great overview of the company. Much appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed your last 2 days here so far, and hope to have you back soon. So
Awesome.
Really looking forward to that. Thank you so much,
Time to
Peter.
get some Schweinehaxen.
There you go. Let's get some pork knuckle going. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Everybody else, thanks so much for tuning in here to the Gold Newsletter channel. Really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously, reach a wider investor audience. So really appreciate that, and stay tuned for more. Take care out there.